Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to the Humble Servant Homestead, guys. Today, I am out here getting ready to approach one of the chicken coop here on the homestead. And so, what I'm pretty much coming down here this morning to do, guys, is to feed up the chickens. And what we're also going to do is just talk a little bit about what is going on with these chickens here today on the homestead, especially this time of year. Okay, um, so as y'all can see right here inside of this chicken coop here, we have some barred rock hens and one rooster. Okay, and so I'm just going to take a seat here and we're going to talk a little bit about these chickens and what is going on this time of year with these chickens, guys. So the reason why these chickens are over here and separated all to themselves is for fertile eggs. As y'all can see, we have a beautiful barred rock rooster, pretty big. We have hatched out quite a bit of barred rock roosters here on the homestead, and we picked the biggest one. So we have them over here for fertile eggs purposes. Now, when you're doing that, it's pretty much one roosters to one rooster to 10 hens. So that one rooster can serve up to 10 hens, guys. We don't quite have 10 hens inside of here, but that rooster is getting the job done. Okay, so one of the thing is with these hens here right now at this time of the year, they're going through a stage, or you would maybe want to call it a phase, where that they are putting on all of their winter coat. So they are shedding their summer feather and fall feather. And so what that is actually called, it is called molting. Okay, now a lot of people out there may be saying, hey, my chickens, they are not laying, I am not getting any eggs. That could simply be the reason why you're not getting any eggs, because your chicken, they are molting. Okay, and so we're going to go over a couple of signs to let you know when your chickens are fire red hot and to go and laying eggs like crazy. Right now, if y'all can see, we have one hen over there. Most of these ones have already putting out their feathers, and so we have one over there, that one right there where you can see some new feathers coming in. Now, their back was actually a bit kind of peeled from the roosters, coupling them over in the springtime. And so when they're starting to molt, they're putting on that new feather. Okay, so now that is what's going on. They pretty much feathered out for the most part, and they're looking really beautiful, guys. Now, one of the signs to tell when your chicken is laying like crazy. Now, if y'all can see these hens right here, that little red thing on top of the head, we call that a comb. That is what we call it. There may be not a scientific name for it, but we call that a comb, guys. Now, when that comb on top of the head is super red, it is super red, that lets you know that that chicken is in its prime to lay eggs. Okay, now, so that is one of the signs to look for. So sometimes, whenever you see your chickens, their comb is real dull and it's not a hot red, that's a sign to let you know that, hey, they're going to be slowing down in egg production. Okay, so inside of this coop right here, lately we have not been collecting any eggs. Maybe if we do collect any eggs, it's probably like one or two eggs for the day. And that is the reason why, because they are molten. Okay, so, and as y'all can see, they're getting in their breakfast early in the morning. And so that's what we like to do. We like to come on out early in the morning and feed the birds. Okay. So for a lot of people out there that may be getting chickens for the first time, guys, all you need for your birds is food and water, and just making sure that their coop is dry. Now that is one of the key things. You want to make sure wherever they're running is dry. Okay. Now, so inside of this coop here, as y'all know, we are big on manure. Okay, we're big on chicken manure here on the homestead, where there may be chicken manure, goat manure, but these chickens, we come out every morning, we feed them. Not only that they are giving us the eggs, but also the litter. Okay, plays a big part here on the homestead. That is what we use to grow a lot of our veggies here on the homestead. Now, what I do whenever I come on in to clean out my chicken coop, or say for instance in the summertime going into late fall, what I will do up there in the topside garden, I would clean out my chicken coop and I would spread all that manure all over into the garden area. Now, what you want to do is you want that chicken manure to sit for a while, at least about 120 days, if I'm not mistaken. You want that to go ahead and sit, so just in case if there's any pathogen or bacteria or anything like that can come from the manure to your food, you don't want to bring that in your house and digest that, because you can get sick. So we usually let it sit out there in the garden over the winter time, and then we come back on in, cultivate all that inside of the garden. Now, what we're doing right now up there in that garden, well, not so much in the garden, but what we're doing outside of the garden is we go inside, we scoop up all that manure, and then we put it outside in a big pile, throw a tarp on it, and let it sit so it can break down over a period of time. And then what we go ahead and do after that, once it get to that point where it's broken down, or it's looking good, like it can be used, we would let the chickens in it. Okay, we'll let them go through, because what happened, then you start getting the worms, you start getting different little bugs and stuff like that inside of there, and that right there, the chickens love it. They go and they scratch through it and find whatever that they can find. Okay, but guys, chickens is the way to go. Definitely you want to have a roosters. Now I know some places wherever people may live, they can't have a rooster, but nonetheless, if you can have hens, go ahead, guys, get you all some hens. Simple reason why, you go to the grocery store now and you look at the price of the eggs in the grocery store. I was in there the other day and I'm looking, and the price of eggs is like $7 a dozen, and I'm like, wow, that is crazy. Okay, so if you can have chickens, get you some chickens, and if you can have a rooster, get your rooster. You don't necessarily have to have an incubator to get chicks. In the springtime with these bottle rocks here, they will go broody. And so what you do, you would want to separate out that broody one to herself and let her go ahead and incubate those eggs. It take up to 21 days, pushing it into 22 days for your eggs to hatch out. Okay. Now, a lot of the birds that we have here on the homestead, guys, are dual purpose birds. Now, when I say dual purpose bird, what do you mean about dual purpose birds? These birds right here, they are good for laying and also good for meat. Okay, and so I told my wife the other day that I'm going to be getting rid of my ISA Browns and also my the cinnamon queens. Okay, and I'm going to just be pushing all dual purpose birds. I've already have some New Hampshire red here on the homestead, and also some Rhode Island red. Now those Rhode Island red, I think they well, not that I think. They they're right around about the same range, but they put on that weight a bit faster than your typical bog rock, especially your roosters. They produce a bit more meat, and to me, that is the best meat that you can eat. Is that natural, especially if you're letting them free range. It is a whole lot better for you. Okay, now it do take a bit of time for them to get to weight. You're looking at probably about 6 months or so for them to get to weight, but they're a hardy bird. You could let them run the yard, and whenever you're ready to get one to process for meat, you can just simply go outside, catch one, process it, and you have meat there. You know, versus your Cornish hen, they can't go past 6 weeks. Well, if you let them go past 6 weeks, they're going to be super big. They're going to be hardly able can move. So these birds here, we love them here on the homestead. Simple reason why, dual purpose eggs and for meat. All right, guys. I hope there was something that was learned from this video here. I know I've not been out for quite a little while, but I'm here today. I say, hey, coming down to feed these birds, why not just go ahead and drop a little nugget here and there. So definitely, hey, you have a piece of land, you have something, get you some chickens. It don't take that hard. It's not that hard to care for chickens. You feed them in the morning, give them their water, and in the evening you repeat that step. Okay, or if you put enough food in there for them to last maybe even weeks, you check them once a week, you can do that. But and if you put in an automatic watering system that you know will last for a week with the amount of birds that you have, you can even do that. But I still do recommend that you come in and peek your head in at them at least once a day, just to make sure that your birds are doing good. You don't want to just put a system in here and leave your birds and you're not looking after them, you're not checking on them. So I wouldn't recommend that, guys. But nonetheless, that is it right there. I want to say thanks to each and every one of you all out there for stopping by the Humble Servant Homestead. And as always, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all out there. Have a blessed day.